Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2, episode 9 of David and Robby's Watch Party. We are getting so close to having more episodes than season 1.
Let's go.
um, Drink of the week before we start off. I decided to be a little bit healthier today.
Just
My
just a little
favorite
bit.
monster, white, not monster. My favorite Gatorade,
Good. Yeah.
white Gatorade. I'm so used to having monsters on the show, or just monsters in general.
Yeah. Man decided to switch it up. He can't comprehend.
Also, before we start, this week we are still talking about 3 shows, but we have decided to omit AEW Dynamite because
Yeah.
it was on a Tuesday, the same day as a really good NXT.
Oh, really? Go to next season.
It was so good that I believe you watched Dynamite on mute so you could watch
I I
NXT.
I watched Dynamite on mute just so I could focus on NXT. And half the show I wasn't even paying attention. So
Yeah, NXT destroyed Dynamite, and then Tony Khan got angry on Twitter
he
and tried
he's
to ratio everybody.
he did. He got big mad on Twitter, was throwing a temper tantrum.
My
It was
favorite
funny.
one that he said is still, "You insulted my mom. Take this ratio personally."
This man is like 40 something years old and he's dishing out ratios. I care.
But no, we will be talking about the 3 shows, and then I will be talking about Backlash 2004 because that was the show given to me on episode 8. Because I lost again.
Yay.
And knowing what game we're playing today, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose again.
Eh, yeah, maybe.
Although I was close last night to winning because we played this game last night too.
You were very close.
And then I
You
blew it.
had me beat for a second and then you choked the lead.
Yeah, yes, because of timeline.
Ah,
We're playing Wrestling Trivial Pursuit tonight.
yes, sir.
um, but no, we're gonna get started with the week in review. How this is gonna work? Robbie's gonna review the WWE main roster shows. That's Raw and SmackDown. I will do NXT, and then I will also do Backlash 2004. So Robbie, whenever you're ready, we start on Mondays because that's the beginning of the week. Let's talk about Raw.
Alrighty. First Raw post Fastlane. Wasn't that bad. Fastlane was pretty good. So this was
Fastlane was mid,
I
in my opinion, but
it, okay, yeah, it was all right. But this was a decent follow-up. We opened the show with Mr. Seth Rollins, who retained his world title at Fastlane, and he gets interrupted by Drew McIntyre. And I guess they kind of cut a promo on each other, and then Dominic Mysterio tries to come out with Damian Priest to cash in his contract. Well, Damian Priest attacks Rollins, and then Dom comes out to try to cash in his contract, and Drew stops him, takes the contract after headbutting Dom, and yeets the contract into the stage. And it was really funny. And now we have a WWE World Heavyweight title match between Mr. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre at Crown Jewel.
okay. Crown Jewel. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Um,
Yep,
Crown Jewel is one of those shows that's gotten steadily better over the years.
it
Like
has.
2019 and 2020 both, well, 2018, 2019, 2020 didn't have one because of COVID.
Right.
2018, 2019 both sucked.
They were very bad. Like WWE had like a long string of like every Saudi show they were doing was bad.
Yeah. And then when 2021 rolled around, because Robbie can attest this, I was not happy when I heard that Crown Jewel was coming back. But
Right.
that show was the best show of the year.
Surprisingly, yeah.
And it surprised the crap out of me. And then 2022 happened. It's just, one of my favorite modern pay-per-view. So now I'm really excited for this Crown Jewel.
Yeah, it should be a good show, especially now that Triple H has full creative control.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Vince has been ousted out of creative. A new era starts in WWE officially.
About time.
Thank you, Endeavor.
All right. Next segment, or I guess first match on the show, Ivar versus Kofi Kingston in a Viking rules match. This match
Mm.
was good.
Yeah.
It was very good, very hard hitting, and it ended with Ivar getting the dub with a moonsault. He actually won with the moonsault this time, thank God. Because you would think logically a man of his stature and size, he's like 320 pounds. You would think any move off the top rope would be enough. And
Right.
the last time they fought, not this past one, but before that, that moonsault was not enough. So it's good that they actually made that moonsault enough.
Getting crushed by a 320-pound man. That's not enough.
My man's got a K out of two, like John Cena. Okay, all right. Next match was mid. It was Nia Jax and Raquel Rodriguez,
That's the reason
and
it
it
was me.
and it ended in a DQ when Rhea came in and started attacking everyone, and then Shayna Baszler came in and started attacking everyone, and just ended in a very big brawl.
Hmm.
Thanks, Nia.
Was Russo part of this? No, I'm just kidding.
Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, the new tag champs, came out to cut a promo with Michael Cole just like kind of roasting Cody for some reason. This man was like, I don't
He,
know why he was going after
yeah,
Cody.
he was laying into Cody.
He was asking some very questionable questions. I don't I understand, but whatever. And this ended up getting interrupted by KO and Sammy, with Sammy's wrong theme being played, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And
Although their
this
promo was also a little heel.
it was kind of heel, but at the end of the night, it was all good.
It was
But
all
yes,
fine.
this match ended up being made into a tag match for the tag titles between KO, Sammy, and Cody and Jay.
Mhm.
Next match, Ricochet versus Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable, and this is the number one contenders match for the IC title. That Bronson Reed ended up winning, and this was a very good match. I,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm a little sad about that. I was hoping that somebody not named Bronson Reed was going to win this match, but Bronson Reed won the match.
Honestly, Gunther versus Bronson Reed could be good though.
It could
I
be
mean,
good. It's as a good man once said, big meaty men slapping me.
Gunther has like the uncanny ability to lift up anyone that he is fighting in the ring.
He does. He's just that good. It is what it
So
is.
I could see that match being really good.
And a match that wasn't really good because it was pretty one-sided. Drew McIntyre versus JD McDonough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew won in like hardly any time at all with the Claymore. So not looking really good for JD trying to join the Judgment Day. He cost Judgment Day the tag titles, and then he gets whooped by Drew. So not looking good. So we shall see what happens. Next up, Becky Lynch versus Tegan Knox for the NXT Women's title. The match was all right, but Lynch ended up retaining the title, obviously. I'm not sure what they got planned for her next. Should be very interesting. Lynch, that is. And the main event, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag titles. Again, pretty good match. Uso and Rhodes retain. And then after the match, they all shook hands. So,
Yeet.
yeet, yeet, yeet. Oh, honorable mention. Before the match started, actually, when Sami and KO were in the ring,
Mhm.
uh, they went to commercial shortly after they made their entrance, and right before they came back, they showed a video package for Ludwig Kaiser for some reason. And right after that video package, they showed Sami and KO in the ring, and KO was just sitting on the turnbuckle, and he literally just said, "What the hell was that?" Just that was really funny.
All right, so what would you rate this SmackDown if you had to grade it? I'm not SmackDown, Raw.
Raw
What would you grade this Raw if you had to grade it?
on a scale of 1 to 10,
Hmm.
a solid 8.
Okay. Solid 8 for Raw.
I think that's fair.
All right, let's talk about the best show of the week.
Yes, sir.
NXT, which is a weird sentence to say.
Especially now, yeah.
So let's first just quickly talk about how this show came about. AEW had to move to Tuesday to accommodate, I believe it's baseball playoffs. I
Yes.
believe it was. So they had to accommodate baseball playoffs because of the channel that they're on. So they moved to Tuesday, and they were gonna host this really cool Title Tuesday event, which was okay. It was fine. It was a decent-ish show.
Decent-ish.
There was some stuff that wasn't. So we had for one week only so far, a Tuesday night war. So NXT decided that they would go all out.
They went so hard on this show.
Now, let's not fully spoil anything before I talk about it. But oh my god. I'm just gonna say right now, my rating for this show, A+.
Yeah.
So we start with already a first time for this person on NXT. Cody Rhodes came to NXT. He didn't have the tag belts, which surprised me.
Right.
No, he came to NXT to make some announcements, and we'll talk more about what he did later because I found this funny. I think you found this funny too.
Yeah.
But first, just his announcement here: we are getting the men's breakout tournament and the return of the Dusty Rhodes tag tournament, which is not really a return. It was there last year too, but
Right.
but no, we're getting the Dusty Rhodes tag tournament again, and then Ilya Dragunov comes out, basically talks to Cody, major respect for both of them, like in between mutual respect between both of them, and then Dominic Mysterio comes out. Let's quickly talk about this. The amount of heat that Dominic Mysterio gets is unprecedented at this point.
This man, like the boos are so loud you could barely hear him.
Like, it's to the point where, spoiler for SmackDown, Triple H mentioned it.
Right.
He said, I thought they piped that in, but no, it's
Oh.
no. So, Cody Rhodes announces that he's the general manager of NXT for this episode and books an NXT title match for the main event between Ilya Dragunov, I'm about to say Braun Breaker, between Ilya Dragunov and Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio, being a coward, didn't put his title on the line, but that's not the point.
Right.
Overall, that segment got a B+. And then another person coming back to NXT, Roxanne Perez versus Asuka.
Yep.
This was a really good match. It was a lot more competitive than I thought it would be, honestly. You missed most of it.
I did. Yeah.
But overall, it was a pretty good match. Predictable winner. Asuka comes back to NXT. She's been undefeated in NXT, and she stayed that way.
Yeah. Right.
So Asuka defeats Perez. Bleacher Report gave it a C+. I'd probably bump that up to like a B for me. I enjoyed it. Pub rules match. This was enjoyable.
It's very hectic.
The Brawling Brutes versus the Brawling Brutes and Tyler Bate versus Gallus. 6-man.
Yeah.
Very hectic match, but a very enjoyable match.
Right.
They had pool tables, dartboards, beer. It was fun. It got an A-. It's a stretch to call it a match. This was not a match.
It was a fight. A brawl,
fight.
if you would.
And it was awesome. So, all right, now we talk about the other person who was announced for this show. And I say announced.
Right.
John Cena.
Yep.
Came to NXT.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? But John Cena nearly gives Braun Breaker an attitude adjustment before Breaker's match, which I think is cheating. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm.
But no, Cena was out in the ring, cutting a promo. He was basically putting over the incompetence of Breaker. Breaker interrupts, the two fight. Breaker goes for a spear. Cena evades it, goes for the attitude adjustment, but Breaker gets outside of the ring. So if they're setting up John Cena versus Braun Breaker, I'd be fine with that. I'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
The NXT title match. This is another thing that I forgot to mention during that first segment. The special guest referee.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LA Knight came out as a special guest referee. This was a really good match. I'll just say that. It was all the matches on the show were really good. Honestly,
Yeah.
there was like almost no misses. I think the closest thing we had to a miss was the women's breakout tournament match, which even that was okay at best.
It was all right. Yeah.
But no, this match was really good. It got an A minus. Dragunov retained. Thank God.
I figured he would.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I've said this on the show before, but that's my boy. So, actually, I think I said it last week, but that's not. Ilya Dragunov is my
Oh my
boy.
lord.
I like Ilya Dragunov a lot. He's my favorite guy on NXT, so I'm happy he's champion. Speaking of the women's breakout tournament, women's breakout tournament match: Lola Vice versus Danny Palmer.
Mhm.
The breakout tournaments, if you don't know, the breakout tournaments are basically the people who are in the performance center or they're just starting on NXT. They come in and they try to break out. Winner usually gets a title shot. Overall, it's a really good tournament most of the time.
Right.
And I think this one's no different. Although this match wasn't as good as I expected it would be.
Meh.
Um, Lola Vice defeats Palmer. So she's going to move on to face, I believe, Kaylani Jordan.
I think they might be on opposite sides of the bracket.
Oh yes, they are. But Kaylani Jordan was the other person involved.
There's really probably two people you could point out that are like 100% winning this tournament.
Kaylani Jordan and Jakara Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. This got a D plus. Okay. It's not an F.
Fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
our main event match.
Match.
Carmelo Hayes with John Cena in his corner versus Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman in his corner.
Freaking
Paul Heyman's
wild.
going great.
He was.
But no, this match was really good. Like, it was a really good main event. Cena was like hyping up Carmelo Hayes the entire time. It was fun to watch.
Right.
um, but a lot of people aren't talking about the match itself. They're talking about what happened after the match.
Oh yes, sir. Oh
So
yes, sir.
Hayes beats Breaker, but Breaker is in the ring after the match. He beats up on Hayes, and he says into the mic, "There's only one badass in WWE."
And that we knew immediately that's where it was heading to. We knew immediately where this was going.
Now let's quickly circle back to the actual like commercial for NXT this week. Because
Right.
notice how I said the last announced person was John Cena. In the commercial for NXT, at the end of the commercial, the screen goes black and all you hear is "Dong."
No.
So as soon as Breaker said, "I'm the only badass in WWE," we knew what was going to happen. The
Yeah.
lights cut out. And the American badass Undertaker rolls out on a motorcycle.
He dies, yes.
It was awesome.
It was so cool. And like Undertaker in NXT is if you told me that was going to happen ever, I would have never believed you.
Right?
Like,
No, Undertaker came to NXT, took out Braun Breaker, shook hands with Carmelo Hayes, and rode back on his motorcycle. It was a very quick promo, but it was worth it.
it was.
It was so worth it.
And
Overall,
the pop that got was insane.
yeah. Overall, besides the women's breakout tournament match, A+ show. A+.
100%.
Which even then, the women's breakout tournament match wasn't bad enough to lower the grade for me.
Right.
No. But no, this show was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last weekly show, because again, we didn't watch AEW, or we
We did
didn't pay
not really.
attention. I mean, what else did they have? Adam Copeland's debut, cool. I saw the clip. He won.
Right.
Everyone knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Swerve versus Danielson, which was apparently a very good match, but that's to be expected. Danielson won that. Sheeta won the women's title. One other title change. Orange Cassidy won the international title, and everything else wasn't important.
Yeah. So, all right.
There you go.
So, last weekly show before I head into my pay per view, which may be on part 2, depending on time. So Robby, whenever you're ready, let's talk about SmackDown.
Alrighty, this SmackDown was something else. The season premiere of SmackDown is what they were calling it. I don't know what that means, but we're
They
just gonna
do
roll
it every
with it.
year at this point.
I don't understand what it means. The season premiere? What? Okay, whatever. The show opens with John Cena. He came out to cut a promo, but was interrupted by returning Roman Reigns. This man has been gone for 2 months, people. 2 months! And he finally comes back to basically be like, you know what, Cena, they've been calling you the GOAT, but I'm the GOAT. I'm like, you can't be the GOAT when you're sitting on your couch. Like, come on, dog.
With the title. You can't.
with the title, come on.
Oh,
And
he's held the title for over 1,000 days. He hasn't defended it.
he's only defended it for like maybe 70% of that reign. But anyways,
he's defended it 4 times this year.
I think so, yeah.
So
Speaking of Roman basically came out and said, like, Cena, you wanted to challenge me for my Universal title, and Cena's like, I'm not here to challenge you because I haven't earned it. What a humble guy. But I know somebody who has earned it. Cue LA Knight's music, and the crowd goes wild, as always.
LA Knight's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah. So LA Knight comes out. He and Roman kind of have a little back and forth. And then Solo tries to attack Knight. He counters it. And Roman walks away. And I believe we get LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa for later in the night. And this got an A. It was a really good segment. And Cena being like the hype man in the corner was really funny.
Funny.
Like while LA Knight was speaking, Cena was just kind of like jumping up and down, like kind of like hyping up the crowd. Or he was so excited. Next match, the Brawling Brutes versus a returning Pretty Deadly.
Boo!
Boo!
Oh.
Pretty Deadly won with a roll up. And this got a C plus. The match was
an F.
meh. The match was meh.
Should have gotten an F because Pretty Deadly won't. Robby can attest they're on my top 3 most hated.
He has a strong dislike for Pretty Deadly. You know what? I would even go as far as say he hates them.
Yeah. No, my 3 hates, Robby knows this. My 3 hates in wrestling when it comes to people are Pretty Deadly, Baron Corbin, and Vince Russo. Those are the 3.
Yep. Can't confirm.
And it's weird because I wasn't even alive during the time Vince Russo wasn't.
you've just seen so much from him that you're just like, nope, this man sucks.
Exactly.
Like, Judy Bagwell.
Victory Road 09.
Oh, alrighty. Next match, Zelina Vega versus Bailey. Bailey actually won a match for once. Totally didn't see that coming. After the match, Io and Bailey attacked Zelina, but Charlotte came out and saved Zelina. And spoiler alert, because I'm just gonna say now, Charlotte is facing Io for the women's title next week. And right after that was made, I'm not gonna say by who. We'll get to that in a minute. Jade Cargill walked into the room and sized up Charlotte. And she's like, "Hi, great to meet you."
She's literally, I told you this last night. She's doing Dolph's gimmick.
Right. Like to see her go from like AEW, just like roasting everyone and just like trash talking everyone, to coming into WWE, just going up to somebody, be like, "Hi,
Hi, nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
you.
That's nice to meet you." Oh, that's interesting, but we'll see where that goes. But anyways, oh, good timing. Triple H's big announcement. It was teased prior that Triple H had a big announcement for the SmackDown, and he does. So we are getting a designated general manager for both Raw and SmackDown. The Raw general manager was Adam Pearce. He is now just doing Raw, not
Just
SmackDown. Because the person doing SmackDown is former NWA World Champion Nick Aldis.
And the crowd goes silent.
And the crowd went mild because nobody knew Nick Aldis.
No one knows Nick Aldis, but I do, like I told you last night, I am ready to see him in this role because I love authority figures besides Vicky.
Besides Vicky, yeah, of course.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something on live on air that I've never done. I'm gonna take someone off my 3 hated.
Yeah.
I'm taking off Pretty Deadly. They're number 4. I'm moving
Okay.
Baron Corbin down to 3.
Okay.
I'm moving Russo down to 2.
It's Vicky's number 1.
Vicky.
Yep.
I totally forgot about Vicky Guerrero. No, my most hated is Vicky Guerrero. And that's because I actually grew up with Vicky.
We did grow up with Vicky. She sucks. Both in the ring and out of the ring. But that's a different story for another day.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Nick Aldis is a new general manager for SmackDown. I was very happy about this. And his first act as general manager is announcing this superstar that got traded to SmackDown in exchange for Jay going to Raw. Kevin Owens is now on SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. Sammy and KO are once again no more, because Kevin is on his own. And the first thing he did when he got into the ring was give a stunner to Dominic Mysterio. Spoiler alert, Dominic Mysterio was in the ring. And it was really funny because when he came into the ring, he was basically trash talking whoever was going to be the new superstar to SmackDown, which is weird because Dom, you're not a SmackDown superstar, so why would you care? Why would you care? You're a Raw superstar. But that's not the point. He was trash talking the Raw, the SmackDown superstar. He's like, nobody cares. And Nick Aldis was like, you know what? Triple H was like, if you got any complaints, direct them to Nick Aldis. And Dom was like, nobody cares. And then Aldis was like, hey, Dom, great to meet you. I'm a big fan of your dad.
Let's just clarify though. That's what we think Dominic said because we couldn't really hear him.
We couldn't. We could not. Literally, you could legitimately not hear this man. The boos were that loud.
Like Triple H even said, like I said, he said, I thought they piped in, but before that, he said, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
Exactly. And this segment got an A from Bleach Report. It was a good segment. Next match, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory for the tag titles. Earlier in the day, the tag champs made an open challenge, and it was answered by Waller and Theory. Spoiler, the champs retained. Yeah. But It was a good match. It was a really good match. Bleacher Report gave it an A. I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah.
And after the match, Roman Reigns came out.
Uh,
Roman Solo and Jimmy came out,
hmm.
and they sized up Cody and Jay. And the part specifically that we should be focusing on is when Roman came out, he went straight for
Right for
Cody,
Cody.
and they had a very tense stare down. So if that's not teasing a match in the future, I don't know what is.
Although,
Uh,
this is just my thoughts about it. Sorry. This is my thoughts about it. I think if they are teasing match in the future, it's most likely going to be at Survivor Series because it's a big four. And of all the
right,
big fours to lose your title to and to lose your over 1,000 day reign to,
right.
Survivor Series, really?
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think if
Yeah,
they're gonna do it, they're gonna save it for Mania, have a rematch at Mania.
that's what I'm thinking.
But we'll have to see what happens. LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. Knight got the win with the BFT.
Hmm.
And after the match, Reigns laid out LA Knight with a spear. So I'm guessing, if I had to be a guessing man, we're getting LA Knight versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel.
Right.
So I'm going to say this now in advance. Rest in peace, LA Knight. It was good
Yeah.
knowing you.
Watch us say that, and then he wins. He pulls the Jinder Mahal and wins.
I would laugh. I'd be so happy.
I'd
But
be
yes, this
happier than when
show,
Jinder Mahal.
well, anyone would realistically. This match got a B, and overall, the show got an A. So, in my honest opinion, we were saying NXT was the best show this week. I'd have to say SmackDown was the best show this week.
Okay.
SmackDown was really good,
Look,
but
let's
NXT,
just nip this in the bud right here. WWE had an amazing week this week.
oh, absolutely, yes. No misses this week.
Like
Absolute
zero
bangers
misses.
all around.
Like this is probably one of my favorite weeks in WWE. So,
Yes, sir.
and I've been watching for a decade. So
Right. That's saying a lot.
now, to be fair, the latter half of the 2010s were not good, but
They were not. They were
um,
questionable.
but no, I mean, like I said, this week was awesome for WWE. We are running out of time, so in order to hear the Backlash 2004 review, you got to go to part two because we do these
Oh,
parts. Oh,
one more thing before we cut this off.
yeah.
Something that was made today, as of like an hour ago, well,
Uh-huh.
has been made official.
Uh-huh.
So for those of you that are into the boxing world of sorts,
Yes.
there was a match between Dylan Danis and
And Logan
Logan
Paul.
Paul. Logan Paul won very decisively, apparently. And after the match, he called out Rey Mysterio for the
Oh,
United States Championship.
oh no.
So in the future, possibly Crown Jewel, we are getting Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
Crap, Logan's gonna win
Thought
the
I'd say
title,
that.
isn't he?
I mean, I wouldn't be upset with that as long as he's around to defend it.
Yeah. I do. I don't want to see him win, but it's a thing of I don't like the person,
Right,
but I like his wrestling.
right. He's a good wrestler, but bad person.
Yeah, exactly. um, but no, I mean Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul will be really good. We sort of got a taste of that at Mania 38.
Yeah.
But no, as per the boxing match, I believe in one of my discords someone said that Dylan Danis landed like 10 punches.
Yeah, apparently he did not get a lot of offense in because
He
Logan just
yeah, he
wrecked him.
talked a lot of smash
A lot of smash.
and then got in like 10 punches. Which
He put in like zero effort.
I'm demonstrably not a boxing guy. I feel like
Right,
for me specifically, boxing is a little boring. For me, I'm more of an MMA wrestling guy. So like
right.
I'll watch UFC, I'll watch WWE. Um, but no, boxing is just a little too slow for me.
Right.
But I did watch some creator like YouTuber boxing, and that is fun. Um, but no, Danis was talking all that smack, and he lost very decisively.
Very decisively.
All right, so that's gonna end part one. This will be in a playlist. Um, I just gotta make the episode 8 playlist first.
Yeah.
But this will be in a playlist, so you can just keep watching for part two, and we will see you guys in part two.